Today we are going to talk about how to create fabric, dealing with all the different values that you have, and there's really no hard lines to this. It's actually the values that are creating the form of the fabric to make it look three-dimensional. So one, you are going to need to go onto Canvas and actually look at the samples that I have and pick one. You can print it off if you want to, or you don't have to. Either way is fine. You are going to have 3 pieces of paper, and when you get these, you can feel the difference. One, you might even be able to see the difference. This one that is pretty much white, it's whiter than the other 3. This one is going to be for the charcoal. All right, so I would probably take on the back, flip it over, and write charcoal, so you know that's what this is for. Now, you can actually see the difference between these two. One is smooth. It is very smooth. So that is going to be your pencil. Pencil only. And then this one, there's actually a tooth to it. When you rub your finger over it, you can actually feel it. This is going to be for the coffee. Yes, I did say coffee. We're going to do a painting with coffee, and I will supply it all, so not a big deal. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to draw my fabric choice 3 different times, okay? So what I tell people to do, instead of actually looking at it as a piece of fabric, I want to look at it as a form, okay? So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to have this whole area to draw it on. And it's okay if it's not perfect. I mean, this is going to be your drawing. And if you notice, I'm drawing fairly light because I want to kind of get in where I want the curves and everything to be. Okay, now, I do not want you to trace this. I want you to draw it. And I can tell the difference between a drawing and a trace. Okay, then there's another little section right here, and then this is going to come up, and if it goes off the page, it goes off the page. Okay, I'd rather you take up the majority of the page than do this little bitty drawing right in the middle. We don't want to do that. Okay, so this section right here, not like this is a sketch, it's not going to be perfect because I'm okay with that. If I wanted it to be perfect, I would have gone and purchased it, but that's not how this is. Okay, and then that's going to come up this way, that's going to come up this way. Okay, so you can pretty well see the shape of what I'm doing. Okay, and then right here there is a fairly large dark value. And then there's a dark value right here. Okay, there's also a dark value over here and over there and coming up. Okay, so even though we have a sketch and there's really no definite hard lines, we're going to be coming in and we're going to, now this project you're going to be able to use your blending tool, your blending stump. I know some of you did not like not using it for your first, with all the boxes and all that kind of stuff, and that's okay. We don't always get to do what we like. Okay, so you're going to be adding the layers. Take your time. This is not a contest. Trust me, if you get this, one of your drawings done in one day, you probably need to go back and look at it. Okay, and I'm going to say that it is also easier if you do this upside down, because you're not looking at as a piece of fabric, you're looking at as different shapes. Okay, so right here, okay, this right here has a dark area. Okay, so, and I'm just using a regular pencil. You don't, I mean, it's nice to have all the different values, but, you know, honestly, it's really not needed. Okay, and then this is going to come around this way. And that's going to be all dark. Now, where it is black, it must be black. So you need to make sure that you're layering on the colors, layering on the values. We're not layering colors yet, we will get there. But I don't want to see anybody doing this, okay? No, no. Okay, one, that doesn't erase. It has indented your paper. All right, so no, do not do this. You're supposed to use a light hand and just keep on adding. The more you add, the darker it's going to get. Okay, so you're going to keep on going. Now, when you get this drawn on there, what you're going to do is you're going to draw it 3 more times. All right, so then what you got your pencil. Then you're going to come back with your other paper and you're going to do charcoal. Now be careful with charcoal because it gets dark really, really quick. Okay, you're also going to probably need to use your blending tool, or you can use a Kleenex to blend it out. Just depends on how you want to do this. So you can see that there is value. Just be careful, you don't want to go too hard too quick, because then you're going to have a little issue with getting too much of the charcoal on there. Now, you are not combining this with pencil. I'm just doing it this way so I can have one video for all the different media that you're going to use. Okay. Now, if you feel more comfortable with doing it in pencil and then putting charcoal on top of it, that is perfectly fine. But you cannot, I do not want you to just leave the pencil on there. You want to make sure that you are putting the charcoal over it. Okay, and then make sure that you're going back, doing the lines. See, this all right here is all dark. So all this is going to go dark. And you can also sketch all this in with your charcoal pencil. It says charcoal pencil right here. And then you can go back and do more values. Okay. Now remember, you're doing 3 of these. Now let's say that you get to a part, you're like, oh no, that needed to be white, poop. Okay, we're going to take our white charcoal pencil and we're going to add some white to it. Now it won't be white, but you're going to be able to add to that. Now this is also going to be a time when you're going to need to use your piece of sandpaper to keep your blending stump clean. Okay, that's going to be very, very important. Okay, so we're getting started with our charcoal, and then next we're doing coffee. So we are on to the next paper that we had for coffee. I put coffee on it. You can tell it has a texture to it, but you're almost doing like a watercolor, a wash with it. So I'm going to do a demonstration of that. Now this is going to be very light. I'm going to do a variation, and this is probably going to take a lot longer. You can kind of see where it's starting. We're going to make some stronger coffee than what I did. And when you layer it on, you're going to be able to see the values change. Okay, the more coffee that you add, the darker it's going to be. And like I said, we are going to have different strengths of coffee. And please don't drink it because it's for this specific project. So I would appreciate it if you do not. So this will actually go darker. We'll have to let each layer dry each time you add it. Because if you add too much, it could start to drip over. And we're just using this as almost like watercolor. I know some people are like, I don't know how to do this, but all it is layering it and not getting too much on. If you see it pulling up in some areas, just tap it with your paintbrush and just kind of soak it up. You may have to get a Kleenex or brown paper towel to dab off the color, but then you can go back in here and let your paintbrush, just like a sponge, soak up that extra water. Okay, so this right here, the coffee one is going to take a little bit more time. It's not something that it's going to go quick, but we are going to work with trying to get the different values within our painting. Okay, so we have pencil, charcoal, white, and black. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to do the coffee. So actually, once you get all three of your drawings created on your 3 pieces of paper, I'm going to leave it up to you about which one you want to do first. If you want to do pencil first, that's fine. If you want to do coffee first, that's fine. Or the charcoal, white or black, and black, I guess I should say, that's fine too. But you are going to have 3 separate drawings. Okay, we're not going to combine it like I did here. I just did this out of the ease of it so I could have a video with everything and be able to go from there. But we're just going to use the coffee just like watercolor. And like I said before, we will layer this on. So this is, if you flip it right side up, you can kind of see how this idea is moving on towards this idea. You can see it, okay? And make sure that if you do charcoal, keep the charcoal away from this area. As you can see, it's starting to get onto my wet coffee drawing and kind of annoying. So, okay. So if you're going to do the coffee, you need to let me know so I can go ahead and start brewing you some. And just remember, this is not to drink. So, all right, you guys can go ahead and get busy.